Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Regina is off tonight. New at 11 tonight, the Spokane City Council released a draft framework for police reform. It outlines 24 points of reform for the Spokane Police Department. That includes use of force oversight and accountability and hiring practices. Under the use of force umbrella, the City Council calls for the department's exceptional tactics to be eliminated. Exceptional tactics allow for officers to use neck restraints, pressure techniques, or canine bites. The resolution also calls for more liability and wants to create an ordinance for an officer to report when they see a colleague use unauthorized force. Another big point is for more diverse hiring of officers. It says the department must reflect the demographics of Spokane by 2024. To read more about the different points, it's on our website. Just head to KREM.com. A local coronavirus outbreak is now tied to a Spokane restaurant and tavern. The Spokane Regional Health District says Borracho Tacos and Tequileria in downtown Spokane is linked to 24 new coronavirus cases. Only one of the 24 people who tested positive was an employee, and most were in the ages of 19 to 29 years old. Those who tested positive were socializing in groups on the weekends of June 12th and 13th, as well as the 19th and 20th. Spokane Health Officer Dr. Bob Lutz says about 41% of the recent cases in Spokane County are people between the ages of 20 and 39.
Maybe a misperception on many people's parts is that this emergency has not ended. It's actually picked up pretty significantly.
Dr. Lutz says this is likely because people are still not wearing masks and going out for activities in larger groups. In the meantime, Borracho is responding tonight on Facebook. The restaurant says it is working with local health leaders to ensure customer safety. In a statement, the business writes that it has added new protocols, including reducing capacity to 30%, providing face coverings for all customers, requesting social distancing while waiting at the entrance, and all staff will continue to wear face coverings as well as gloves while working and on break when social distancing isn't possible. Washington Governor Jay Inslee visited Spokane today amid a marked increase in coronavirus cases throughout the area. The governor met with local elected officials, healthcare and business leaders to discuss the impact of COVID-19. During a media briefing, he said he was stunned to learn that hospitalizations have doubled in Spokane over the past couple of days. His statewide mandate for everyone to wear face coverings takes effect tomorrow, so we asked him if everyone follows through with that face mask mandate for the next 2 weeks and Spokane sees a significant drop in cases, could we potentially move on to phase 3 of reopening?
Anything is possible, so we would hope that we would have some extremely dramatic improvement in that regard. Usually these things take longer than 14 days to show a result. So if we had 100% mask usage starting tomorrow morning, it probably would be more than 2 weeks before you saw dramatic changes.
Inslee also said there's no magic number that would determine Spokane moving back a phase. Meantime, County Commissioner Al French stressed the fact that Spokane businesses are losing out to Idaho, which is already in stage 4.
The governor understood the fact that we are unique. We are not Seattle, King County, Pierce, or Snohomish. We've got a competitor that's 16 miles down the road. And, business that isn't happening here is happening there. We need to bring that business back to Spokane.
The governor says moving forward, the state could potentially require businesses to bar customers from entering if they don't follow that mask mandate. While Governor Inslee was in Spokane, he made it a point to meet with representatives of the city's essential workers. Taylor Vito has more on that tonight.
It's overwhelming. It's stressful sometimes because there's just so many people.
Jerome Stark works at a local Fred Meyer and don't think for one second that he's been able to work from home during the coronavirus pandemic. Stark has continued to go in, working at the front end of the store.
With so many people inside the store, it's impossible to control social distancing, so the masks are so important.
That was his personal message to Governor Inslee Thursday afternoon during a roundtable discussion. It happened at Washington State University's nursing school. At the discussion was Spokane Alliance. They're a nonprofit that, according to the organization, looks to bring several different groups and unions together in Spokane to address big issues. Speakers also included hospital workers, long-term care providers, and those working in childcare.
Families are stressed out. They're stressed out of their minds.
This man runs the Parkview Early Learning Center. It's a preschool and childcare facility in North Spokane. He told the governor that many of the families he serves are struggling to pay their bills and have lost wages because of COVID-19. He argued that childcare is an essential service and his employees should receive hazard pay.
And if Parkview closes down, which we're struggling financially, then they're in the same boat of trying to find care. They're trying to pay bills.
The governor said he understood where these essential workers are coming from. He also called upon state lawmakers to act on several issues related to coronavirus. And in closing, he offered a warning about people in Spokane not wearing masks.
Spokane is not in an explosive situation right now like Yakima is, but it is on the verge potentially of getting into that realm. And that's why we're really concerned.
That was our Taylor Vito reporting. While Inslee did say he feels many people in Spokane aren't wearing masks, he does believe this is a behavior that will change in the future. Well, in just about an hour from now, face coverings will be required in Washington. Starting tomorrow, you'll be required to wear one when you enter a business or a facility that's open to the public. You'll also be required to wear one outdoors in situations where you're unable to social distance yourself from others. It would not apply to someone walking in their own neighborhood alone, and you don't need to wear a mask alone in your car, of course. Exceptions include children under the age of 5, people who are deaf or hard of hearing, and those who have health conditions impacted by face coverings. While the state's mask mandate will start tomorrow, there has been some pushback on it as well. In a Facebook post this evening, Yakima County Sheriff Robert Udell says the sheriff's office will not be enforcing the mandate. He goes on to say he's always been on the side of education and engagement rather than enforcement. Udell believes law enforcement shouldn't force people to change behaviors, and to do so causes a loss of trust in government, he said. For more information on that face covering mandate, just text masks to 509-448-2000 and we'll send you more information directly to your phone. Meantime, across the state line, most of Idaho will stay in phase 4, at least for 2 more weeks. Governor Brad Little announced that today after the state failed to meet the benchmark needed to move forward. That means every county in Idaho that advanced to stage 4 will have the same restrictions extended. Ada County, which is home to Boise, was moved back to stage 3 after a spike of cases there.
In an ideal world, we go back to what we did. More and more, we get closer to back what it was. What we're doing is we're not slamming on the brakes, we're tapping on the brakes, and that's a result of this.
Right now, Idaho has 4,645 confirmed cases, 90 deaths statewide. Health officials will reevaluate at the end of the 2-week period to determine whether the state can move out of stage 4. Meantime, Boundary County reporting its first coronavirus case. Panhandle Health says it was a woman in her 20s who contracted the virus while traveling, and she remains out of state. The district says the woman hasn't been in Boundary County while infectious. There are now a total of 215 cases in North Idaho. Staying in Idaho, Senators Jim Risch and Mike Crapo are supporting a bill to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. If approved by Congress, the federal government would observe the holiday in parity with Idaho's existing recognition of the celebration. Idaho is among 46 states and the District of Columbia that currently recognize Juneteenth as either a state holiday or a day of observance. All right, let's take a break from the news for a moment and talk about the weather, because it was another hot day across the inland Northwest. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick joining us live from our new outdoor weather center. And Thomas, tomorrow's going to be even hotter.
Yeah, I think tomorrow's is going to end up being the hottest day of the week so far. But I'll tell you what, being outside at this hour might be the nicest point of the day, at least for me. A little bit cooler once the sun goes down. But actually today it wasn't as warm as the last couple, just at 84 in the Spokane area and just some low 90s off in central Washington. So a few degrees cooler today, but we'll be back in the 90s tomorrow. But with the addition of some stronger wind gusts for Friday and Saturday, there's a fire weather watch for the lower Columbia Basin. So if you live in these areas, especially close to the Tri-Cities, just postpone any kind of outdoor burning or even campfires for the next couple days, mainly because of those winds. Look for that to get upgraded to a red flag warning for tomorrow. No wonder temperatures plenty hot in the basin overall, up to 98 in Moses Lake, and maybe even triple-digit heat for the Tri-Cities. So one more big time summer-like day for us tomorrow, but it gets a lot cooler heading into the weekend. Look at that, not even 70 degrees for this upcoming Sunday. So coming up, detailing when we're going to see that colder air rush in and when's the most likely hours to see some rainfall, not just for this weekend, but most of next week.
Looking forward to that, Thomas. Thank you very much.